refund the fee payments of consumers who paid during the ECQ. Meralco clarifies that no part of the convenience fee goes to the company. It further explains that electricity bills paid via the Meralco app go through a payment gateway. The company assures to be more sensitive in the future and mindful of the best interests and well-being of its customers. Meralco's clarification comes following Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi's letter asking the electric company to explain the 47 peso convenience fee. The Finance Department has ruled out a proposal to suspend the collection of 12% value-added tax or VAT imposed on electricity amid the COVID-19 crisis. This was after Senator Risa Hontiveros, during the joint congressional hearing on Energy Commission today, raised a recommendation from the Senate Tax Study and Research Office to suspend the imposition of VAT on electricity while the country is still recovering from the pandemic. Finance Undersecretary Bayani Agabin says suspending the collection of VAT at this time is not a good idea as they need funds, adding that VAT is a progressive tax. Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi also echoed the same, saying that the government is looking for various sources of funds for its COVID-19 response.
Suspending VAT is not a good option at this time.
Okay.
Because of the funds. It's actually a progressive tax because those who use electricity more will be paying more VAT.
The Department of Trade and Industry will study the possibility of reopening dining services of restaurants in areas under general community quarantine, but only up to 50% capacity. Food business owner Paulo Santiago has started to prepare his food hub in Cavite for possible opening of dine-in services, which has been under GCQ. According to him, they have been following the minimum health standards in their food hub, even while in takeouts and delivery services only.
Actually, when I read the news, pinorward ko kagad siya sa group chat namin. May caption ako na konting tiis na lang. And then, syempre, yung employees natin, sabi nila, excited na ako, sana matuloy. Kung ganun yung reaction nila, daming losses. Up until now, bumabawi or lumalaban pa din kami sa lahat ng losses na yun.
However, local food business owner Joyce Oiko has reservations in opening its small restaurant, even in limited capacity due to risks.
Mahirap talaga kasi for example, yung sa situation ngayon sa mga mall openings, mall reopenings, kahit na meron tayong sinusunod na public safety measures, hindi talaga natin makokontrol.
During yesterday's Senate hearing, Senator Cynthia Villar suggested the possibility of allowing dine-in services in restaurants even up to 50% capacity, noting that a lot of food businesses earn mostly from dine-in services.
Nagsasabi na sila na magdi-declare na lang sila ng bankruptcy and then they will lay off all their employees, which is very bad for us, the unemployment.
DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez says they will inspect restaurants and food establishments on Saturday to check its compliance with minimum health standards and protocols. Currently, only takeout and delivery services are allowed for restaurants and fast food chains.
Pagka ho tayo ay makumbinsi naman ho na safe po na kumain at i-implement yung minimum health protocol, we shall allow of course, we will endorse the opening of dine-in.
Jego William, we are on board the UNTV radio mobile booth along Aurora Boulevard here in Cubao, Quezon City area. And as of the moment, we have a light to at times moderate traffic situation here in westbound lane going to EDSA Cubao, Manila bound. That's also the same situation in eastbound going to Katipunan Avenue here in Aurora Boulevard. William, Jego Metro Manila is still under the modified enhanced community quarantine, meaning Public transport is still suspended as of the moment.
For those watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on the right side of your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. And still to come on Y News. In Australia, opening the state borders has been a battle zone for the Premier.
U.S. to withdraw from Open Skies Accord and Trump's latest treaty pull out.
Beijing says no foreign country has the right to interfere in Hong Kong's security law.
Stay with us for more when Y News returns.
Maraming salamat sa lahat ng ating mga retail workers, pharmacists, security guards, pati na rin sa ating mga housekeeping personnel at sa lahat ng mga establishmentong bukas at patuloy na nagbibigay serbisyo para sa ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat po. Kayo po ay nagsisilbing instrumento sa pagbigay ng ginhawa.
Ano na ipapasa ang Coronavirus Disease 2019? Naipapasa ang sakit sa pamamagitan ng direct contact at paglanghap ng droplets mula sa bumahing o umubo na taong may sakit. Pwedeng tumalsik ang droplets mula 3 hanggang 6 na talampakan. Posibleng makuha ang virus kapag nahawakan ng droplets pagkatapos ay hahawak sa mata o ilong. Kahit wala pang sintomas, pwede nang mapasa ang sakit. Kaya mahalaga ang kalinisan at kaalaman para maiwasan ang sakit. A reminder from UNTV, your public service channel. Ito ang tama at maling paggamit ng bleach kung gagamitin na panglinis sa bahay. Ihalo ang 1/4 cup ng bleach sa 1 galon na tubig. Iwasan na paghaluin ng bleach at ang mga produkto na may ammonia tulad ng panglinis ng salamin dahil makagagawa ito ng nakalalason na chloramine. Huwag haluan ng alcohol ang bleach dahil nakalilikha ito ng chloroform na makasasama sa kalusugan kapag nalanghap. Huwag din paghaluin ng bleach at asido dahil nakalilikha ito ng chlorine gas na kapag nalanghap ay makasasama sa baga. Tandaan na mahalaga ang kalinisan at kaalaman para maiwasan ang sakit. A reminder from UNTV, your public service channel.
Y News continues. The Philippine Coast Guard released today the quarantine clearances of nearly 1,200 more returning OFWs who have tested negative in the RT-PCR test for COVID-19. The PCG also released the record of 8,637 seafarers and returning Filipinos whose COVID-19 test results came out negative. But this batch of repatriated workers has yet to receive the quarantine clearances. Since the records show no test. To check the list, just go to the Philippine Coast Guard's social media pages. If you're on the list, just send a private message via the PCG official Facebook page to coordinate the necessary information with the sub-task group for repatriation.
The Department of Foreign Affairs reports 43 additional cases of COVID-19 among our kababayans today. This brings the total number of cases abroad to 2,504. Of the total confirmed cases, 5 new recoveries were recorded in the Americas, Asia and the Pacific, and Middle East. Meanwhile, 2 new deaths among Filipinos in the Middle East were also reported.
The Department of Foreign Affairs suspends the operations of consular offices nationwide on Monday, May 25, 2020. This is in observance of Idil Fitr pursuant to Proclamation Number 944 and RA 9177 declaring Idil Fitr as a regular holiday throughout the country. Operations will resume on Tuesday, May 26. Applicants with confirmed appointments who will be unable to avail consular services on Monday will be accommodated during regular office hours the following day or within the scheduled window sent to their email. Those with emergencies may contact the consular office where they scheduled their appointment. Applicants may send their inquiries to oca.concerns@dfa.gov.ph. The consular offices implement social distancing measures and other steps to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. For guidance, just visit the DFA website.
And for the news abroad, here's Marielle Latoza live from Perth, Australia. Good evening, Marielle.
Good evening, William, and of course to Diego and Harleen.
Marielle, happy Phil Aussie Day 2020.
Yes, Will, happy Phil Aussie Day 2020. Today, the Philippines and Australia are celebrating the friendship between the two nations. Her Excellency Maria Helen de la Vega, the Philippine Ambassador to Australia, sends out a message to salute all Filipino and Australian frontline workers in the fight against coronavirus, as well as on the cooperation between the two nations. Let us hear Excellency de la Vega.
Our two countries are working closely together with the rest of the global community so that we may all emerge stronger from the economic and health crisis caused by this pandemic.
That is Her Excellency Maria Helen de la Vega. As for updates in the COVID-19 fight, William, most of the states here in Australia are in phase 1 of easing COVID-19 restrictions, although opening the state borders has been a battle zone for the premiers. Later, I will also give updates on the controversial security law in Hong Kong, as well as the reason for U.S. President Trump to approve Michigan emergency declaration.
All right, Marielle, please tell us why.
Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk emphasized that she won't let her state be lectured to after New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian pushed the other states to relax their border restrictions and allow interstate travelers. Yesterday, the Queensland Premier declared that she will only be considering Queensland to open their borders sooner once the community transmission in New South Wales becomes under control with a visible 2 incubation periods of 0 community transmission and 1 month of 0 cases in New South Wales and Victoria. New South Wales has recorded the highest number of coronavirus deaths in Australia, having 49 deaths. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk also said that it's time for Gladys and the New South Wales government to get their act together and start performing as well as Queensland has on the health front. WA Premier Mark McGowan also responded that he is not going to give in into that sort of bullying by the New South Wales Premier or anyone else. On Tuesday, South Australia and Northern Territory also revealed that they would not be changing their position regarding the opening of state borders anytime soon. As of today, there is a total of 7,081 COVID-19 cases here in Australia, including 100 deaths and 6,472 cases recovered. A man in Seoul tested positive for the new coronavirus in early May. South Korean authorities were able to immediately pinpoint within minutes the 5 bars and clubs he visited on a recent night out and who he might have come into contact with. The system used by South Korean authorities requires its citizens' information. Now, data privacy is one of the main concerns here, but officials say there is nothing to worry. Eric Ferrer tells us why.
South Korea's digital and fast contact tracing response in the most recent outbreak linked to nightclubs was a result of months of work on a digital data collection and sharing system that patches together cell phone location data, credit card records, and CCTV footage. The Epidemic Investigation Support System has effectively removed technological barriers to sharing information between authorities by building on the country's smart city data system. That platform was originally designed to let local authorities share urban planning information from population to traffic and pollution. Now it forms the foundation for a data clearinghouse that has turbocharged South Korea's response to the virus. Using traditional methods, it took investigators up to 3 days to gather a patient's personal data and trace their contacts. The new system can reduce the time to less than an hour, officials say. Investigators can use it to analyze transmission routes and detect likely infection hotspots. But the issue is data privacy.
It's a violation of privacy to let everyone know where a confirmed patient lives, where they went, and what they spent money on.
Of course, protecting privacy is important, but I also think privacy should be put aside at this point, both nationally and globally.
On this, South Korea's Central Disaster Management Headquarters says the government has a way to prevent violations.
The government has expanded anonymous testing nationwide in order to prevent unnecessary privacy violations and plans to supplement guidelines to prevent excessive disclosure of a confirmed patient's past routes.
Authorities' power to get information was established by a 2015 law called the Infectious Disease Prevention and Control Act, introduced after the country was hit by Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS. The law allows South Korean health officials to access a wide range of personal data, including cell phone location information and credit card transactions without a court order. Officials say authorities notify anyone whose information is gathered and that all the data will be deleted when the virus is contained. While many countries are scrambling to develop smart apps that can trace the contact of patients without revealing detailed personal information, South Korea has forged ahead with a more invasive approach. Eric Ferrer, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The United States announced its intention on Thursday to withdraw from the 35-nation Open Skies Treaty, allowing unarmed surveillance flights over member countries. This is the Trump administration's latest move to pull the country out of a major global treaty. The Trump administration said Russia has repeatedly violated the pact's terms. Senior officials said the pullout will formally take place in 6 months based on the treaty's withdrawal terms. NATO allies and other countries such as Ukraine have pressed Washington to remain in the treaty, and Trump's decision could aggravate tension within the alliance. In a statement, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Alexander Grushko says that Russia had not violated the treaty and nothing prevented the continuation of talks on technical issues that Washington calls violation.
I think that the open sky will all work out. But right now, when you have an agreement and the other side doesn't adhere to the agreement, we're not going to adhere to it either. But I think something very positive will work out.
China said today it opposed foreign interference on Hong Kong as it plans to implement a national security law, responding to the latest U.S. criticisms about Beijing's handling of the city. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said that he made remarks during a daily briefing. He said Beijing plans to impose new national security legislations for Hong Kong, which was prompted alarm along activists who believe the new regulation could further erode freedoms in the city. This morning, the presence of security was high as residents awaited details on a controversial national security legislations that many fear could impact the extensive freedoms in the Chinese-ruled financial capital. Two dams in central Michigan have failed and flooded the Tittabawassee River. Several roads and bridges were destroyed. Homes got flooded after days of raining that led to the overflows. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said around 10,000 people have been evacuated from their homes in the Midland County. The water went up as high as 5 feet. The National Weather Service has warned of life-threatening flooding as the Tittabawassee rose to historic levels. The flood presents environmental risks as rising water commingle with containment ponds at a nearby Dow Chemical Co-plant, the company said. No injuries have been reported according to the Midland County Board of Commissioners. U.S. President Donald Trump has granted an emergency declaration for the state of Michigan in response to flooding caused by dam failures. For information on roads and bridges that are passable and closed, as well as water use, just visit the City of Midland's official social media pages. And those are the reasons behind the news here in Australia and other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you, Marielle. You stay safe there in Australia. In other news, ice cyclone Amphan brought floods in some parts of India and Bangladesh. It is said to be the most powerful cyclone to strike eastern India and Bangladesh in over a decade, left a trail of destruction, leaving many homeless and concerned for their future. At least 70 people had perished, most of them either electrocuted or killed by trees uprooted by winds gusting up to 185 kilometers per hour.
With lockdown measures more relaxed in various countries, social lives are slowly becoming possible. But as we take our first cautious steps back into the wider world, we are finding it transformed. When dining out, going shopping, and watching movies, don't be surprised if you can't socialize the way you used to. Nina Armillo will tell us why.
Gone are restaurants so busy that you had to wait for service or the check. Now, in the new coronavirus era, social distancing has made eating out a totally different experience. In the Netherlands, dining companions might eat around a candlelit table inside a small glass booth on the banks of an Amsterdam canal. If that's not appealing enough, diners can try eating with a see-through lampshade on their heads, created by French designer Christophe Jernegon for restaurant owners who want to protect customers from COVID-19. In Thailand, there's no more pressing the button when riding an elevator. Instead, foot pedals have been designed so mall-goers can indicate where they are headed for. In Lithuania, Dubai, and the United States, drive-in cinemas are seeing a revival. In Belgium, teachers at a special needs school are sewing masks that contain a transparent window to show the mouth, which can be especially important for children with autism. Belgium, like other European countries, is slowly coming out of lockdown as the wave of transmission of the coronavirus eases. But donning masks is new to much of the population. Here, like elsewhere, people are having to adapt to get protective gear, which suits their needs and their return to daily life. Nina Armillo, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Yes, Diego, Harleen, our last feature item with Nina shows us, or illustrates rather, some of the possible characteristics, what is to be the new normal in society. What do you think?
I think they have to, William, they also have to take a look at the back of house of several food establishments. What I've noticed is the measures in place are only for the front of house, meaning for dining customers. But you have to remember, at the back of house, you have deliveries coming in, you have the food crew, you have food preparation going on, and then you have also the cleaners. If there's an infection in the back of house, it transmits all the way to the front of house. So I think you have to take a look at that area also.
And also, I think,
William, Jago, it would be very difficult for us to transition from the old to the new normal as we battle this COVID-19 crisis. But I do believe that it would take time for us to adapt into this kind of new normal, and we will be all right in the coming days. Jago,
yes,
William?
Yes, I agree. And I guess also more importantly, let us stay safe. Let's follow the proper safety protocols. And what's important is, even though there's a big adjustment, at least we would be able to go back into business. And I hope not many more would lose their livelihoods.
At the end of the day, William, it all boils down to the vaccine. Until we have a vaccine that's out protecting the citizens, I think there will be a new normal, and we should dispose of our old lives, or the notion of how we used to live before. Everything will change. But I hope, even if the vaccine comes, we all have learned our lessons.
Yes.
And we continue to adhere to safety practices or protocols in the way we should live our lives.
And let's take better care of our world
and our health. Yeah. Well, and William, I do hope in the coming days we find a flattening of the curve, and pray for all our frontliners, and give more prayers to our patients recovering in this battle against COVID-19.
And we would also like to remind our fellow Filipinos to follow health protocols. This is very important to stop the spread of this virus.
You can't stay home, stay at home, wear your mask, your face shields, bring alcohol, and observe at least 1 meter distance from the next person. Great. And have a happy weekend to everyone. And as this next week approaches, let's all keep healthy and eat right. And don't forget, we should all pray. And I give my salute and my kudos to all the frontline workers in the Philippines and abroad.
Our Kasangbahay, we are at a time when the country is under a state of health emergency. The cooperation of all Filipinos is imperative to avoid the further spread of the deadly virus.
We are calling on everyone to be calm, and most importantly, let us join together in prayer for our country and for the whole world to survive this crisis.
You may join us in our daily UNTV community prayer at these hours as flashed on your screens. And those are the reasons behind the news, May 22, 2020. I am Harleen Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Angelo Castro III.
And I am William Theo. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening, everyone. Happy weekend.